20th, episode 7, Mediocre at Breast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Becca. Of course, you know Sydney.
And Sydney.
And let's have some fun.
We'll try. Hey world. We are parents and there is 5 days until Christmas. We are exhausted, but we are happy to sit down and talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most excited about is your third Christmas with him or fourth or?
This is our third Christmas.
It's like he's only 2.
Right? Well, he was born.
It's our second.
Is it our second as well? So he was newborn and then, I guess.
Yeah, he would have hit Christmas immediately.
Yeah, so I guess this is our third Christmas.
That's just like how much you were probably like in a like postpartum stupor. You're like, how many Christmases?
There's a picture of us holding him and he like didn't have neck support yet. So he's like throwing up gang signs. And like I just look dead and Brian looks dead and we're just trying our best. So
I feel like that's Lennon's first Christmas, he was like 3 months. So I was still, that's whenever I feel like that's when it got the hardest. I mean, at first it was like physically, you're like, oh, I'm getting over surgery. That's rough. And then the world thinks you're done with that. And then at 3 months, then your body's like attacking you like postpartum, estrogen drop.
Yeah, he now it's been really great about sleep, but we didn't start getting him in a sleep routine till about 6 months. So he was still sleeping all crazy, and that's really, really difficult. And, I didn't have like a hard birth, but like it's still draining no matter what.
Oh my God, you were a month.
And I ripped. So like I still had my stitches and everything. So it was pretty miserable, but we made it to Christmas. So
I heard people say, this is going to be like mom TMI stuff, I guess, that they would prefer to rip than to have an episiotomy. You only had one way, but if that were to be, did they ask you before?
No.
Like what you'd want, or is it just like situational?
I think I just ripped. Like okay. I think that I was numb.
It happened so fast.
Yeah, it happened so fast. And then
see, I don't know.
They just let me know. And then they were like, okay, you ripped a little bit, so we're going to sew you up. Okay. And then, of course, you have to clean that. I don't know. Do you still bleed after a C-section, right?
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You're bleeding. You're like putting giant Band-Aids everywhere.
Okay. So did it sting when you cleaned yourself? Did you have to use the Perry bottle and all of that?
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
So I think why mine hurt was because he was so low for so long for they like, I don't know when they broke my water, but I know he was like just floating in there very low and I got to like 5 or 6 centimeters for so long that I had like both damage. So lucky me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got the 2-for-1 special, the emergency 2-for-1 special. Yeah. So I did. And mainly the Perry bottle thing, because you can't bend over with after a C-section. I assume really just any giant physical thing you go through, moving muscles after that is hard. That thing is the best though. The Freedom Mom one. Did you have that with the like hook arm?
I did not.
That is a luxury. Ladies, splurge on the Frida Mom Perry bottle. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then it's not your time yet.
My mom gave me this spray that like numbed me.
Parenal
spray. But it helped a little bit, but it stung like a bitch at first. Like every single time.
It's witch hazel in it that does that. I've heard.
Yeah, so I wasn't in the best shape.
I purchased those because I planned to vaginal things. But then I ended up giving them to Victoria because she was supposed to give birth 4 months later. And I was like, you get it. girl, and then she also had a C-section.
Really?
So the traveling witch hazel pads. I don't know where they are.
I remember so whenever I was at the hospital, they ran out of diapers. So I had to go get my own diapers. Did you wear diapers?
Oh, like for you.
For
I thought
me.
you meant the
No,
babies.
for
I was like, they live for that shit.
no,
They live for those
the
sponsorships.
the
How did
adult
that
diapers.
happen?
Yeah.
Um, I was I'm like so small. They just kept telling me that. And they were like, "Oh, this is one size fits all type of thing. We're so sorry." So, I just used I literally had the mesh underwear, I guess.
Yes,
That's
I
what we
remember
did.
that's what they gave me
Just
too.
just that though, nothing like fun, cool diapers that but I brought some of my own, but that was for vaginal birth.
Were
Y'all, I was
they were
so
size 6?
prepared for vaginal birth. But what?
That was a joke. I was saying they were size 6 because all the other ones were too big. So you gotta get the toddler diapers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just kept telling me that whenever they would do my like binder. I don't know. Do you do binders?
I don't know what that is.
It's this like Velcro thing they wrap around you. They put your pad and your undies on, and then they do this like it's not mesh. It's Velcro, but stretchy,
No,
elastic
we had
around you, goes
a
and
completely different.
like cinches you.
No, I didn't get that.
You didn't get cinched.
Mm-mm.
Well, it was a one size fits all cincher, and they couldn't cinch me. It was rough. I actually went home and bought my own online, like a smaller one, and that felt good. I did not feel okay. Like I couldn't sleep for months without it. I don't know if anyone else had that experience, but I felt like my organs were just floating around in there. And I was like, no way, no one is getting out of line while I'm sleeping. You know, I
No,
want,
they never gave me that. I'm a little pissed.
well, I'm sure I still have mine.
We went to the same hospital. We gave birth at the same hospital.
Maybe it's like, I don't know, because you still have like a giant wound. It's a plate-sized wound, right? In your uterus? That's how big it is.
I still have this.
No, it should be. Yeah, you because you didn't use a binder. No, that's like the initial like injury. I felt like my pelvic floor therapist told me that all the time.
Honestly, they really don't unless in the hospital. I say me and Brian were saying constantly like anyone can have a baby. Like they do not tell you anything. They do not prepare you. All of the
No, it's on
information
you.
you have to
Yeah.
learn, and there's already so much information to take in. Um, that there's so much that can be missed. I had no idea that I had a giant hole in my. Where did you say this was?
Is this just because I had a C-section that I would have this? They said there's a plate, like a 8-inch plate size wound in your like uterus. That's what my doctor told me. That once you have a baby, like that you are injured no
Yeah.
matter what.
If you know about it, let us know in the comments.
I def have been told that a bunch. Um, but as soon as I was like, I kind of it's not like I realized, I just know like America isn't really gonna give you the actual rundown of something. Learn that. And I was like, dang, I have to relearn and then keep learning a different way now because they don't teach you anything. And it is vital. Like I feel like it was extremely vital to my nursing journey for sure. Like, knowing just keep going, really. That's like was my like biggest thing because everyone's like, "Oh, this is happening this day." Cuz you follow these like groups and you get overwhelmed. I follow Latched on Facebook for nursing stuff just to like see, what is everyone else going through. Turns out super common that my 16-month-old wakes up a bunch at night still and likes to be on the boob all night. Not really all night. Like we'll do like 3-hour stretches, but it's still at least like 12 hours at night that he'll be like in bed. But I'll have to come and go, come and go. So it's still really demanding on me. But it's cool to know and follow accounts like that for that reassurance. Like, oh, cool, this is normal. So following accounts that you're interested in if you're pregnant and stuff like that, and getting those resources before you have a baby is so huge. And like voicing to your family, like, this is how I plan on doing things. So help me out, man. And that was huge for me too. But yeah.
What did I do whenever we first came home? We documented all his poops and all of his feedings, how long he was sleeping each hour. Um, we kept track of all his progress, and then his doctor recommended the Milestones app. I don't know if y'all use it,
I
but
feel like I got a bunch of apps that I just was too overstimulated for.
this one is by the CDC. So it's like their actual app of like where your baby, what milestones they should be meeting, and if they're not meeting them, then
Yeah.
perhaps talk to
The
your
type of
pediatrician.
person I am would never have a CDC app. But I think that would bring a lot of people that reassurance also. That's just who I am. That's what I mean by like I had to go find things like another way because I was feeling like this way
Mhm.
was I was a skeptic, and I still am. So that's why I went another route. And that's kind of cool. Like it's so it's cool that we have different like perspectives, and that's cool that those resources are out there for different moms to feel that reassurance
Mhm.
that they're doing a good job. And most of you are. Everybody is really.
Not everybody.
I don't know. I just feel like, some kids are rough. Um, even if it is your kid, you're gonna be like, oh goodness. But we're all doing our best.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, we stopped, not we stopped, but like after a year, like we don't do like wellness checks because unless he's sick or something,
And he
like,
hasn't been sick.
and he hasn't been. So unless I see any abnormalities, like, or he does something extreme, like shove something up his nose, I hear kids do that. Um, we're, we're gonna try to work it out here, I
Mhm.
guess. Um, I have a confession and a toxic trait that I do. Here's my after I say my crunchy statement of no CDC, I want to let y'all know my 20% right here. Every week on Monday, I announce to my family the crumble cookie recipe, or not recipe, the menu for the week. And I hear ye. This week we have semi-sweet chocolate chip and, down the list. And most weeks never do it. Last week did it twice. But we had a Christmas party to go to. So yeah. Um, but that's my toxic trait. I Do you think that has anything to do with also the unhealthy relationship with food?
Like you have an unhealthy relationship with food?
I don't think it's like so bad, but I do think that the fact that I overthink food at all might be bad. I don't know. Um, but like how I'm like, oh, ingredients, but also like it's that thing where you control yourself for so long and then you
Mhm.
go crazy. I don't do that often,
Yeah,
but like
do you think you go crazy though? Like in all seriousness, with every good thing that you're putting in your body and how you're taking care of your body and how you're like prioritizing ingredients
I mean,
and
lately I've been trash at it, honestly.
but don't you think that your body is like a wonderful work of art and like it can filter a lot of those things out and it will work hard to keep you in homeostasis?
I just really hope so.
Oh, I think it does. Like, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
your
I think
little crumble cookie a couple times a week isn't anything that you should feel any type of guilt over.
no. I know I really don't. I mean, I love a little treaty treat. Um, Speaking of, you got these coffees
I did get
at a
coffee.
Becca, once again, cooler than the average coffee drinker. She shops local. Where did you go today?
What was it called again? It's 5 minutes from here. Oh, I thought it was only Cup because Tommy knew exactly what I was talking about. Lazy
Lazy
Days,
Days.
Daze. If you're in the Pasadena area, it's on Fairmont, right before the library, right after Ichiban. Um, right there, love Ichiban. Probably my favorite thing about this area.
Really?
I love their fried rice. Yeah.
Ichiban will now forever remind me of Tommy's dad.
Really?
Yeah, his idea of like a great time, they would say, and I've experienced it firsthand. Tommy Waymeyer at a Ichiban. Um, it's a good time. He always wanted to have a good time.
Like specifically the hibachi?
Yeah, a hibachi. And even when we went to see him in San Antonio, he took us to a hibachi out there. That's why I know like it for sure was his thing. Um, yeah.
I mean, so I've been to Benihana before, just to flex on you guys. I paid $100 for some hibachi before, and it's Ichiban just has the best hibachi. They have the best fried rice, which is what I go there for. And it's not as expensive.
You said
So
Ichiban?
mhm.
That's probably where Tommy is right now with
Yeah,
Lennon, if I'm
it
being
is
honest.
superior. It is the superior hibachi. But yeah, Lazy Days, it was really cute. It's a CBD coffee shop, so half of it is a head shop, and they are selling Delta 8, and then they have a bunch of, like, thrifted clothes there as well, and it just looks like a cute little place to hang out. The coffee was not that expensive. I think for
It's
both
pretty good.
yeah, for both of our coffees, it
I
was
think you got me something that's like peppermint mocha.
that's exactly, and I got the creme brulee.
We are super seasonal up in here right now. Christmas plans?
Uh, Christmas Eve will be on Sunday, and Brian will have Niall. So I think they're gonna go hiking and do like a little something, and then Christmas Day I will have Niall. I think we might be spending it together, and we're just going to cook and hang out. Niall just had 2 birthday parties, so he has too many toys. He's so happy with everything that he has. I don't think that we need any more.
Mm.
So we're just going to be spending time together. And we've also been educating ourselves on the history of Christmas this week.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've been I do Christmas like theme park Christmas, which starts November 8th or through 11th, I think, in Disney. So that's what we do. We've been watching Christmas movies forever. So I guess we're not um, learning any history of Christmas because right now it would just probably say outside in my face.
But that is Christmas history.
But yeah,
It is.
yeah, I think I'm trying to like kindle a feeling
Mhm.
maybe in him. I loved Christmas as a kid. As an adult, it's just been like a slow, like, downhill of a very slow. I'm not like, oh, bah humbug. But it's stressful. It's stressful. And I've got to make sure now I clean out toys and give away toys to, go to Goodwill or Sarah's house. Not Sarah Adams, who we just had. There is a charity called Sarah's House for I think moms. So I do that because I know he's going to inevitably get more toys. Um, that'll make me nice and nervous. Nice and nervous.
What Christmas movies have y'all like been watching? What's your favorite one right now?
So if we're ever able to actually sit down, it's always Elf or Jim Carrey Grinch. Those are the only things we have purchased on Amazon Prime movies. Period. We It's been a great investment. Just do it. Another thing I want or wish I invested in was all the like claymations. The Year Without a Santa Claus. What is it? The Heat Miser.
And and the Snow
Snow
Miser.
Miser.
I'm Mr. White Christmas.
Yes, he loves. Lennon loves a good show, good performance, and he loves if he could dance along with it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, if I'm sitting him down to watch anything and it doesn't have music in it, like, you've got 10 minutes, maybe. Like, the song has to happen. We love songs with early guitar solos. That's like an inside joke between me and Tommy.
We have on our Amazon Prime the Rudolph, the
Okay.
claymation.
Yes.
So
I
we
saw them at Target, like the whole bundle.
yeah.
Maybe I should have got it.
Honestly, you probably should because you will watch it every single
Well,
year.
dude, I don't have a DVD player. I just thought about that's a Bible right there. Disguised as
And it's all you need. It's all
yeah,
you really need.
it is all I have on my entertainment
Hand to
center
God.
is a Bible and a giant TV.
You just hope no one ever looks hard enough and they're just like, "Oh, that's not a PS4."
Uh, Tommy really wants an Xbox.
Um,
Maybe Santa.
yeah, well, I mean, that would play DVDs. But
There you go, Tommy.
mhm. Um, but yeah, we've also been watching It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I'm gonna sound so like prestigious. I've only seen it live.
Oh, okay. I've not, but
That's the one like every time the bell rings, an angel gets its
yes,
wings.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I have seen that. Also Muppets Christmas Carol.
I'm not aware.
The music's pretty good.
Okay, heard.
It's good. And it's got a good cast. I mean, Muppets anything is normally good. I don't know. Um, I spent some time as a puppeteer, so I have some appreciation for that.
Honestly, if I was you, I would just casually drop that in like every conversation that I had. I would get so annoying. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was abroad in Florida and I did spend some time
Abroad in Florida.
and I did spend some time puppeteering."
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when they just you really you never really say no to casting when they call you and pick you for a show. So, I was just like, "What is it for?" And I literally said, like, I spelled my name to them. I'm like, "This is me that you're calling?" And they were like, "Yep." And I was like, "All right. I guess I'm going into puppeteering." But what an opportunity. That was really cool to open a show. Um, I just couldn't believe I was the only one my height in that show. I was baby penguin.
That's cute.
Yeah. Really all you did was um right in front of the tree of life in Animal Kingdom, we would just like push around these like penguins and reindeers. It was called Merry Menagerie. And it was during Christmas time. So that's also why I follow Christmas time, theme park time. It also allows you to listen to Christmas music longer. Every time we get in the car, I feel like Lennon is the calmest to Christmas music, like just classic stuff.
I enjoy looking at the lights and I do love Christmas. I really do. Even though we're not like outright celebrating it, we are like taking everything in
Yeah.
and learning so much, which is kind of fun. At least for me, hopefully it is for him because I think being a mom, I just have so many questions. Is why am I teaching him this? Like,
Yeah.
why am I passing down these traditions? Where do these traditions come from? Nobody actually explained them to me. I just know. Like, I just know, oh,
That's
well,
cool.
you put a tree in your house just because,
Yeah.
just for Christmas.
I need to figure out the tree thing.
I can tell you what it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so first, like whenever I dive into something, I need to just act like I am a baby and I know absolutely nothing and I need to drop all preconceived notions. I can get up. Sorry. I need to drop all preconceived notions of what I know and what I don't know. So the first thing was a lot of people will say that Christmas has pagan origins. I don't know if you've heard that before.
Well, wouldn't the whole Santa Claus thing be pagan? Anything that's not the nativity story?
So that no,
Okay.
because he was a bishop. Like
Oh,
Santa was a type of
yeah, yeah,
Christian.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So this is way before like BC, before Christ. It was a Norse tradition around the winter solstice, and they would bring trees in their home to just remind them of how beautiful everything was. Because like during this time, you know, things are really harsh. A lot of people are celebrating
Yeah.
because like
And back then, they're already used to having fire hazards in their house.
yeah, they didn't really care.
Got it.
They were Vikings.
Ugh.
But yeah, so they would bring these evergreen trees inside to like just remind themselves of how beautiful everything is. And then the ornaments come later. Um, so Christ is born. Some people will say that like they just picked December 25th because there was already a Roman holiday called Saturnalia, which was crazy. They would drink, they would have orgies, they would just party really hard and just be thankful for the sun, right?
Okay.
So the Catholic holiday was like, well, if we adopt this day, then like it's just going to be easier for like people to come over to Christianity. But it is also said that so the Bible never says Jesus was born on December 25th. Like
Yeah.
it does not say that. A lot of people think he was born at some other time. I think we talked about this a little bit. But apparently, all of the prophets are said to have been born on the same day. So the Bible, I think, states that the first day that the world was created, it was not started on January 1st. That was not the first day.
No, they didn't even have a calendar.
Well, it would have
Well,
been
like,
March 25th was the first day.
okay.
So 9 months after March 25th is
That would mess
December
up some
25th.
people's taxes.
Yeah. So that's why they think that Jesus was born, or they say that Jesus was born on the 25th. So the church was saying, you know, we can take these pagans and we can baptize them and we can accept them as people and wash away their paganism. Surely we can do this with their traditions. Like, surely, as long as it's not going against God, we can bring trees inside because they're already used to this and it's not going to be, they don't have to completely abandon everything about who they are.
Yeah.
So they do that and then they start bringing trees inside and then they have to like, I don't know, like spice it up,
Change it up a bit.
change it up a bit. So they start putting apples in the tree
Mhm.
to remind you of the Garden of Eden. And then that
Okay.
slowly over time became ornaments.
A ball.
A ball. Yes.
Lennon looks at a tree and just says a ball a bunch of times.
And the pagan
That's so
holiday
cool.
was called not Noel, Yule. It was called Yule.
Yule.
Yule,
Yule.
yeah.
I hate myself right now. That's super cool. I wish I had some cool story about that.
Dude, YouTube. There's so much cool
YouTube.
stuff on that.
Yeah. I just like put on Polar Express and hope for the best.
And then also America, like whenever Christmas first came over here, we had the Quakers. They did not want Christmas because Christmas was seen as like a hedonistic holiday. Just you I have some videos that I could send you, but they were like, we're not doing Christmas.
Mhm.
So they didn't do it. And then like years later, they started doing Christmas. And then Charles Dickens wrote
Christmas Carol.
The Christmas Carol, and then America slowly started morphing Christmas into this other thing. So when you're saying like, "Oh, I've just been watching like these movies and these movies," but that all is really Christmas history because America has shaped Christmas. Like a bunch of other countries are it's been around a lot longer than America has, but like we've used the media to completely like redefine it. And A Christmas Carol made it not about hedonism, but about doing good and like learning and helping others.
Reflecting, yeah, and
Yes.
changing.
So America's helped shape Christmas in a completely different way.
Thanks, capitalism.
Mhm.
Is them,
Yeah.
for sure. That is super interesting. Thank you. Well, then I have been teaching Christmas history,
Absolutely.
everybody.
You have.
On Amazon Prime, if you have it, for free, VeggieTales is on there, and they have the nativity story and stuff for your kiddos. And I am a huge Duck Dynasty fan. For some reason, during pregnancy, I just fell down the Duck Dynasty rabbit hole and I never came out. But Silas Robertson, Uncle Si, is like the narrator for like their Christmas special or whatever this year. And he's like a little vegetable and it's so cute. And I was just so taken aback whenever because I didn't know that's what it was. I just turned it on and was like, eat food, please. And I was so surprised. It was so cool.
I was never a VeggieTale kind of girl. Like, I didn't watch it
Oh,
growing
I
up.
just mean like to give the it's what we're doing to give the Christ perspective
Okay, hell
of
yeah.
Christmas
Hell yeah.
to give that story or whatever. Because for us that's the only story. So, we're gonna probably do cookies with my mom at some point. But as much as I want to do that, mom, I can't and I already told her this. Like he's gonna eat a bunch of sugar and icing and stuff. I read the other day that even at 2 years old, they shouldn't have 25 grams of sugar a day. Like that's like cap of sugar toxicity. So,
On God.
and I didn't know that. Now I have a number in my head. So now, it's not to reach the goal of 25 grams. It's to obviously stay far under. We try to still do the whole no sugar added anything, but he's had, of course, some of the crumble cookie. So that's good. That's not a metaphor. He's I have given him stuff. I'm not crazy here. But as far as like decorating cookies. And Christmas is like a huge time of year for food dye.
Do you have a sweetener substitute that you like to use?
No, I just
You don't.
I mean, there's honey, there's brown sugar sometimes, or pure cane sugar is better than anything artificial, really.
How do you feel about monk fruit?
But I've heard that too. My mom has actually like so much variety of everything in her pantry. Whenever I was living there and I was like, I need to make this, she was like, even it was all there. Me, like, I look at a recipe and I'm completely debilitated by the first 3 ingredients because, you know, I'm hardly adult.
You should look up monk fruit. And because I don't know, I feel like it's good and healthy. I know that we have different views, so maybe
I don't.
you'll read
I have
about
not
it.
heard anything bad on it. And I feel like most people like posting what's bad about things instead of like telling me what I can eat. I'm like, just tell me what I can eat because that's where your brain switches to, and then it would change your mindset to eating is more of a positive thing.
I just get the little packets. If I ever make
I
hot
mean, like
tea. Yeah, but they do sell it in the big bags for baking. And
that's what I have with my like brown sugar or cane.
yeah, so I don't know, maybe you would like that. I think it's a 0 calorie as well if you care
Well,
about
mom,
calories.
if you want to figure out how to do that with the icing and stuff, I don't know, but I do. I mean, I'm sure you'd have fun.
I think icing might have to be powdered sugar, unfortunately.
But we can also like color. He's just started doing that, and he'd
Mhm.
probably have a good time with that and be like, "Christmas tree." Sonia got him the I think it's Little Tykes, that Christmas tree thing that they can decorate, and it's like like big and plastic and stuff. Um, we need to go pick it up from our house so he can decorate his tree.
That sounds very, very cute.
Yes, I think they'll go do that tomorrow whenever I'm working at night. Give the boys an activity to do together.
Mhm.
Yeah. Is there those hours are long whenever you're, only parenting, you know that, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll be working in the mornings, so whenever I do work on Thursdays, we have to wake up at 6 a.m. because I don't wanna drop him off without eating breakfast.
Yeah, of course.
Um, so I try to let him have, like, a full morning, and then we leave my house at 8.
Yeah. As long as they're not stressed out, I'll change my whole schedule, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I've heard he's a pleasure. I've heard he's really easy to babysit. He naps great. Izzy's mom loves to feed him and he loves to eat. So, and then whenever I pick him up, she always has food for me too, which is always really great. And then when I get there, she has coffee for me. It never fails, which is great. I love Izzy's family and I love Mexican culture. I love that they just want to feed you and like how warm and welcoming everyone is. It's great.
Yeah.
And then he's getting to work on his Spanish too, like hearing it not only from his
Yeah, and
family,
they have
but
chickens,
they do have chickens that he
so
gets to
that's
look at.
cool. I don't, oh, well, Lennon's seen chickens before, went to that old McDonald's farm. He just said, "What's this?" You know? So, yeah. Everything I don't know if I've, like, already messed him up, but everything he looks at or I don't know.
I hope he never loses that, to be completely honest.
He's like, no, he opens his eyes, he looks at the fan, he goes and I literally heard him go, and I was like, "Yep, it is pretty dusty."
You know that episode, I wasn't born yesterday on Bluey whenever Bandit picks up the leaf? It was called Born Yesterday, but he picks up the leaf and looks inside and sees, like, all the chlorophyll,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then they're like, "Where's your dad?" And he's just outside looking at leaves.
Mhm.
But I don't know, that's beautiful. I hope he never loses that wonder.
Yeah, his personality is, like, constantly something new. Earlier, he was, like, climbing Tommy, but in a fashion that was like he was, performing. Like,
Mhm.
he, like, stopped and, like, looked at me, laughed, and then, like, went back to doing whatever he was doing. I'm like, "What is this?"
He's a character for sure.
Yeah. Y'all got to go to the park yesterday, so I've been
Yes.
wanting to go to the park. The thing is that with the park, Lennon's, like, in between this, like he'll always, like, hurt himself. He's still at the stage where he's gonna hurt himself. And, I let him, like, maneuver, but some things I'm like, "No freaking way," and then when you say, "No freaking way," they get upset. So, parks are, like, hit or miss for us right now. He's, like, almost big enough to sit in that swing thing that Niall was in.
You know, for a while, for Niall being as adventurous as he was so scared of parks for up until recently.
He does or Lennon does give them the park eyebrows for sure. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Hmm," and just, like, circles the perimeter for a while.
Yeah, now he really loves them, so he climbs on all the stuff that the big kids climb, and then I just make sure that he doesn't fall. And he really loves nature. So he's learned to say mulch. So he'll pick up the dirt and he'll say mulch. And then he says acorn. So he's learned to say acorns. And then he tries to eat them. So, of course, mom Googles, can you eat acorns? And you can eat acorns. Most people roast them, they don't taste that great,
Mhm.
but you can like make a bunch of stuff out of acorns. So they are edible.
Cool.
Loves leaves.
Leaves.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Lennon likes leaves too, but the acorns, he won't put it in his mouth. It's the leaves. He's like, "Salad."
Yeah.
And then I'll
Such
just
a
see him
healthy
like
boy.
and I'm like, "Sco." I just know he's out there eating leaves. Um, that reminds me, y'all went on, like, a pretty big trip
Mhm.
when Niall was young. I'm thinking about right now a Disney trip for 2 years old, and having, some pushback on myself about it and not sure. Um, so I was wondering how that trip went. I think it went great, but, like, what logistically, like, what did you do?
So we drove 8 hours both ways. You would obviously be flying, so that's completely
Yeah, and the flight
different.
is usually between, like, 2.5 hours, 2 and 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think luckily Lennon's still breastfeeding. So I think if there are any major meltdowns, just pop him on there.
Yeah.
For an 8-hour trip, we had to stop every 3 hours because he was still in his car seat, and they can't be in their car seat for that long. He
Yeah.
was less than a year.
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, so we would stop, pull over, he would eat. He was barely learning how to walk, so he would, like, stand up for a little bit, and then we would have some snacks. He did really great. Um, we went to Terralingues, and we stayed in this RV out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and there was a little space heater. So it wasn't we had to keep an eye on him. It wasn't necessarily kid friendly like Disney would probably be.
Well, I don't even think that, like, I'm thinking about it. And, I mean, there's definitely stuff we wouldn't be doing. That's a no-brainer. Like, it wouldn't be my usual trip. But, like, he would wanna walk around, but he's gonna be older at this point, so I need to, like, have that in my head, but they're also faster and stronger.
I would get a leash. I would have no shame in getting a
I
leash.
I I see that, or I used to see that, and even, like, as a childless millennial at the time, I'd be like, "I get it. This place is crazy."
Yeah, I used to think like, "Oh my god."
Or
And
keep him in the
this
stroller.
is when I was a teenager and really stupid, you know what I mean? Well, for
Mhm.
one, they're not gonna stay in the stroller. Like,
Yeah,
you can
he's
bring a
gonna
stroller.
want to walk around, like, who wouldn't? It's Disney World, people.
Yeah, when I was, like, 16, I would be like, "Oh my god, like, why is your kid on a leash? Just don't be lazy and just
Don't
watch
be like,
them."
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But realistically, no matter what looks you may be getting from teenagers or other parents or anyone else, that your child's safety is put above everything else. And that's how I feel about it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care if you judge me. Like, more than my fear of being judged is the safety of my child.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about the leash because I don't know how he'd act
Yeah. It's a backpack.
on that. Yeah, I guess I'd have to have him just start wearing backpacks,
Yeah.
like, training him like that. Um, but they have, like, an amazing baby care service, like, in the parks and nursing rooms and stuff. So that's in the park, I don't think I'd be nervous. It'd be, like, in a hotel room
And you would be staying
on
on
site.
yeah, so you can always leave and come back for
Mhm,
naps.
yeah, and I even considered, like, a hopper pass. Well, you wouldn't even wanna do that because it takes so long, even staying on property, waiting for a bus and all of that, like, would be like, I don't know. I need to watch, like, some reels or watch what some other parents did. I saw it happen all the time, and I think he would have a great time. Um, he's free into the park until 3 years old.
Can we pause so I can grab some water? I'm gonna die.
For sure.
Be
Starting
like
it now.
okay.
Welcome back. Um, what were you saying? You
You
were
were
saying
talking about reels.
yes, yes,
Yes.
sorry. Um, well, I was talking about, like, that's where I find my, like, resources about stuff that's, like, because obviously you don't Google, like, I mean, you can,
Yeah.
babies at
Reddit?
Disney or whatever, but, like, so you can, but every step of the way, I'm like, "Oh, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this?" Um, but I really want to because I feel like we've both been like, anytime we're feeling, down or, like, one of us is like, we jokingly say, "Oh, don't worry, babe. We'll get back to Disney soon." So it'd be cool to actually have a date in mind that that was gonna happen on, you know what I mean? Because right now it's just this, like, endless cycle of work and life.
And also, like, if there I'm sure there's information out there, but even if there's not, like, you could be pushing that content out there. Like, you
Yeah,
could it
I'd have to live it first, right, I guess?
yeah, you could document it on the
But it's out
way,
there, it is out there.
see, like, what mistakes you've made, things that can make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, because we would be co-sleeping probably, so, like, you have to think about all that, and but also, like, do we then I need to consider, do I if we aren't potty trained at that point, do we want to do that? Because it would be easier, I guess, to be able to take them to the potty, but like I said, they have great baby resources, so that's not detrimental or a rush, but it's something to think about. It's another aspect. So if you have taken your kiddos 3 and under to Disney, let me know how that was like. Because I'm seeking reassurance on that right now, but I'd love to do it. We haven't planned anything, but I'd love to put a date on it.
Would you wanna go with your family or just you and Tommy?
I wouldn't wanna, have to, make anyone make any plans, like, around us, But, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I honestly
They
think
say, like, that would be the best way.
yeah, I think your parents would probably really enjoy going and just seeing zoo lights with y'all. Your family's very efficient at, like, handing off linen when he needs to be. Like,
Mhm.
there's always someone so eager to take him if you need a break or you're pushing the stroller. Even whenever I was there with Niall, like, your mom was pushing the stroller for me just so that way I could focus on him,
Yeah.
and they just it's really nice having people that you can tell, like, they are just so happy to be a part of the experience with you.
Mhm.
And, like, even though you'll be needing help with linen every now and then, it's not gonna be a thing forever, so then they can go on rides and
Yeah, yeah. And also, I don't know what he can ride, but I think he would do good with characters, and meeting Mickey obviously is, like, would be a full circle moment for
Mhm,
me, but I also don't wanna force him to do anything, so I wouldn't be like I know whenever I was hanging out with Mickey, parents would definitely be very pushy about it, and it can be terrifying. I
mhm,
mean, think about it. You whenever I took Lennon to go meet Santa the other day, the guy didn't talk at all. And Mickey, when you meet him, because they don't do magic words anymore at, Magic Kingdom, um, Mickey used to talk and be a magician. He's still a magician, but he doesn't talk anymore, and now he doesn't even talk at any of the parks. So that could be scary. It's just someone miming away, and that could be scary, but also some kids are just so excited to touch, his nose
mhm.
that that's, taken away really quick, but I think he would do good. I do.
I think you would do good as well. I think the most stressful part would probably just be packing and then get everything that you need on
Mhm.
the plane.
I am the brain of the backpack. I know everything in the backpack, but I've always been that friend, like, me and Mara did a bunch of traveling, um and I would always be that friend to, like, send an itinerary out and a packing list of, like, what to do. Like, I was just that person. I I'm the birthday planner, the person that does all those things. And now that I've had a kid, I feel like I'm absolutely shitting the bed in that area, but also I was happy to have done it for as long as I did, I guess. I'll get back to it, but I'm not, like, apologetic about it or anything. I'm just not there right now. Um, but I was that person. And so I feel like if I just drag a little bit of that out,
Why do you think you're shitting the bed on that?
just because I know I don't have the mental space for it. So I just can't do it.
You really I mean, you're brand new at being a mom,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why
and
I'm like, okay, I
it's on
might
you.
say shitting the bed. I'm very hard on myself all the
It
time,
sounds like it, yeah.
constantly. Yeah, sorry. But I mean, like, I'm just not at the altitude that I once was with, my planning and stuff, because I really, I live for that. I would love to be like a wedding planner,
Mhm.
just, anything. Um, I took what is it called? I took that, on Sarah's episode, she told me to take a test, an autism test, um, and I wanted to share my score with you.
Okay, let's get into it.
I sent us a screenshot. So I guess I'm pretty neurotypical, but they said anything above 65 was like getting into the autistic range. I was at 73, but I know when I was taking that test, um, I need to I'm gonna figure out what it's called properly. Sorry. Sarah's probably like, "Are you serious?" We literally talked about this a bunch.
We
Um,
literally just talked about
we
this.
literally just did
Are you
this.
being serious right now?
It starts with a R. RADS, RAADS, um, test. And it was 80 questions. Go check it out for yourself. But what you were talking about earlier, and you were like, I dive super deep into something, a topic and stuff like that. That was like one of the things. Like, do you dive so deep that you have, these long-winded conversations about like one topic? Because apparently people, I don't know if is it autism or no one has attention span anymore, but that is autism as well, I guess, or it's ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD and autism, it's like a Venn diagram. They have
Yeah.
a lot of middle, but they are different, but they are both neurodivergent. Um, People have like special interests where it's not just Christmas. It's not just like it is like one thing that they hyper focus on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's trains, maybe it's buttons,
Yeah. The most
maybe.
I'd say I'm something in the autistic range would be, and who's to say I wasn't masking taking this
Mhm.
test? That's what she said is like most common
Women.
for you to do. So yeah, she was like, take this test, but try not to mask
Mhm.
because you're not going to get a whatever score. So I don't know if I take it again, am I going to get something different? But the options were in the four things you pick when being asked these questions was now and before I was 16 years old, before I was 16 years old, now only, or never. Like these instances that they would ask. Um, and so it took me forever to do it because I'm a mom. But I did it, Sarah, and I guess she says she's the only horse girl in the group. I
Uh,
think I definitely need to get y'all together because she loved talking about that because she is the horse girl.
mhm.
So she was enlightening me on that. And
She was hilarious. I got to preview the episode, and it was very cool to watch y'all
yeah,
hang
I'm
out.
definitely gonna get that going. Even
Mhm.
if we're tiny people on this couch all together, um, I think that y'all would enjoy all those flavors.
So my friend Anna, she is in China right now teaching abroad, and she would be if you have any questions, I can pass them along to her. She is autistic, and her master's degree is in childhood education. But her area of hyper focus is psychology and autism and learning about like children and early development. But she would probably have a definitive answer or just something enlightening on that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Abroad in China.
Mhm. Not Florida.
I
Not
know.
this
As I'd
time.
say earlier, you said abroad in Florida.
She's not puppeteering. It'd be cool if she. It'd be
No.
cooler if you're watching this, Anna. If you were. No, I'm just kidding. She's
Golly.
honestly so cool.
Yeah,
And
it sounds like it. And we are gonna have Josh on soon.
mhm,
Becca and Josh are gonna do an episode, and he is a coffee shop owner,
mhm,
farmer,
mhm. Entrepreneur.
entrepreneur. He farms vegetable things and medicinal things,
Mhm.
and that's cool.
He's also very focused on health. He's always had a lot of health issues, so he's very into nutrition and philosophy, and farming is his way that he wants to make an impact on the world. So he's a cool guy, and I'm really excited to have him on. I wanna talk about some pretty deep stuff, and he loves coffee, so always something to learn if we have any coffee questions.
Cool.
I did, when I went to that CBD shop earlier, I had to Google, like, if CBD coffee was a scam.
Can you like enlighten me on Delta 8?
I actually, so I don't know.
Okay.
Um, I know that it is a variation of THC, but it doesn't or the cannabinoid, I believe.
Mhm.
Whenever he's on, he can tell us
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it does still have
They're
like
able to sell it. That's why I'm
yes,
confused.
but it doesn't technically have THC, which is illegal here.
Yes.
So other variations of it are legal here as long as it doesn't have THC. But THC isn't the only thing that can get you high, I think.
Texas, you're so weird.
It is very, very weird.
It is.
But, yeah, when I was getting the CBD coffee, I didn't know if I should spring for it and get, like, the CBD in
I
ours,
don't know.
and I didn't because I was like, "It might." I don't know if it's just a scam, it's just everyone trying to make a quick buck,
Yeah.
and it's a
How
gimmick,
crunchy is Delta 8?
right? I'm sure in a cart, it's great. That's a joke.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was
Sorry.
like, yeah, because the carts are so cheap. So I'm like, "What's in this? Potpourri?"
Well, I mean, the if I don't know how you feel about heating coils and inhaling that.
Can't be good.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It can't be good, right? Heating metals and sucking it?
I do have a THC story.
Okay.
Um, couple years ago, I had a cart
Mhm.
and, I'm smoking and I'm about to go into jujitsu, so then I go get some coffee really quick, and then we live in Texas, so it gets really hot, and my pen busted, and it got everywhere. Have I told you this story?
No, I've just lived it.
So my pen busted everywhere, and it was
Yeah.
a brand new pen, and I was like, "Fuck, like, I don't wanna waste this."
Mhm.
So I had an Americano, it's a hot coffee. It's literally just
Espresso and water.
espresso and water, and the water it's not a latte, so the milk typically isn't as hot
Mhm.
as the Americanos are.
Yeah, it stays hot.
So I was like, "I bet I could put this in here." So I did, and then I didn't think anything of it. I drank my coffee really quick. I went and did jujitsu, and I'm there for kickboxing, and then I do just the regular class, and then after the regular class, it gets into the advanced class, and that's whenever, like, the heavy hitters, people who have been training a lot harder or, like, longer, stay and train, and yeah, I get in there, and I'm just, like, wrecking shop, dude. I'm doing so good, and my movements are so, like, on point and impeccable, and I'm just like, "Dude, I'm just catching people that are so much higher level than me that, like, I normally can't do," and I thought for a moment I had a runner's high, like,
Yeah,
and so I thought that, like, I just, like, pushed myself to the point,
pure adrenaline.
yeah, that I was just, like, everything was, like, moving slower, and I was just high. I completely forgot that I put that in there, but it was the best training session I ever had. So then I did start smoking, before training, and in jujitsu, that's, like, a common thing as well. I went to San Francisco and trained at, Kurt Osiander's gym,
Mhm.
and they literally had bongs. Like, there's just you walk in.
THC pre-fight?
Yeah, like, you before you go in and
Yeah,
train.
yeah, yeah.
It was in San Francisco, so it's legal there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's just, like, bongs in the waiting room for people to, like, smoke
You
before
called
they.
it a THC story, so that's why I'm referring it to, like, so formally.
Oh, yes, the smoking apparatuses just
Yes.
strewn about,
Yes, yes. Oh, what is it? Water pipes?
water pipes, yes.
Um,
Tobacco.
yeah, we're moms.
Mhm.
But we have a past, everybody does. Um, we still like coffee.
We do still like coffee.
I could just sleep after coffee though. Like, it's just a crutch at this point. But, like, not to, like, keep me awake, just to feel
Just
something.
to feel something.
It's just a treat in your day. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess I do feel jittery, but whenever you're, like, constantly jittery, um,
It just becomes the norm.
yeah, it's just a bev. It's
Yeah.
just a little bev. Um,
Do you have crazy dreams on caffeine? Or because whenever I drink right before bed, I do have some, like, really out there dreams.
um, I don't know if I sleep long enough stretches to, go that deep. Or I might, but nothing that ever, like, shakes me up. Tommy has crazy dreams, like, he wakes up and, like, has to, like, calm down, talk about him, type of thing. So that must be intense when you're trying to rest.
To circle back to something we got into a couple episodes ago, I mouth taped, and I've kinda talked to you about this.
Yes,
So
yes.
I have an Apple
Please let the
Watch.
world know
Yeah,
how that's going.
so you don't have to buy expensive tape, which is, like, what I've seen everyone do. you can just use surgical, is it called medical tape? You can just use medical tape. I had some in a drawer already.
Is it like KT tape? Or is KT tape the expensive stuff?
I think that's the big one, right?
That's what they would put on my belly when I was pregnant.
Okay, so I don't use that. In jiu-jitsu, you wrap your fingers.
Mhm.
So I had
It's,
some
like,
for
thinner.
yeah, it's a small roll. They usually come in, like, first aid kits.
Mhm.
But, I've been using that, and the first night that I did it, I have the sleep app, and I have months and months and months going back years. I have years of my sleep data. So I taped my mouth the first night, and I got 94% rest, which does not really happen for me.
First time.
First time. That's
Awesome.
the absolute highest that it's ever been. And I woke up feeling completely rested, which is what a lot of people say. They just
Yeah.
sleep better.
Yeah. Sleep is everything, and then, freaking our mouths are everything else.
My REM sleep was also higher than it had been as well. So I've done that a couple of times when I remember to,
Mhm.
and it's very consistent. So I would say tape your mouth if your
Tape your mouth,
tape your mouth.
guy.
Yeah, and don't buy the expensive one unless you got it like that, but you really don't have to.
Yeah, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know?
I mean, even if, like, your partner like,
Like, I know you're using cheap mouth tape.
well, I mean, like
If they love you, they won't care what kind of mouth tape you use or the fact that you're having mouth tape at
I've
all.
seen myself sleep with my mouth open. I don't think that anything could be scarier than that. Like, I feel like that it would be an improvement for sure.
That's so funny. Well,
Well,
we are going to wrap up here soon. Merry Christmas, everybody. I think this video is going to actually be posted after Christmas. So we hope y'all had a great Christmas. Um, our plans, I don't think I ever said my plans. Our plans, we do Christmas Eve, all the gifts. And then my gift to Lennon is a big soft play set, and I'm redoing his bedroom, and his dad is adding some cool guy features for him. And they are out right now getting those things. So we've been all together this month, just slowly putting his room together. So that's been cool too. He doesn't know that that's his gift, but Christmas morning, we're going to do some cool things to it, add some Christmas decorations for that day, and then we'll open his gifts in his new room.
that sounds exciting.
Since we co-sleep, I am able to use that bedroom that would have been his as a giant playroom, and not giant, but you know what I mean. A good amount of space. So thankful to have that creative space and the mental space to even put that together for him.
He's a very lucky baby for sure.
Yes,
And he deserves it.
He's gonna. Oh yeah, he's excellent. He's been
Mhm.
such a good boy
He's been such a good boy.
so far. No hands in the toilet this week. Thank you, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas.